If you're looking to overhaul your spending habits and spend less money this year, there are some really simple things you can do not only to save money, but also to reduce the risk of buying things that you don't need in the first place. So in this video, I'm going to go through 10 super simple habits so you can have a low buy year. Habit number 1 is to unsubscribe from email lists. I don't know about you, but there are times where I'm shopping for something and I subscribe to a website in order to get the discount, and then I continue to get email newsletters from this company telling me all about their sales, telling me all about the nice things they have that I might want to buy. And usually I make the mistake of just deleting these emails because I can't be bothered with them. Whereas actually, if I took the time, made a bit more effort and unsubscribed from the newsletters, I'd no longer get them in my inbox and be tempted by them. And often the unsubscribe button is very stealthily tucked away down the bottom of the email. So it does take a bit more effort to do, but for me, it's helped me to reduce the temptation of buying things in the sale that I don't really need, or being convinced that I need something when I really don't. Habit number 2 is to reduce your time on social media. So as technology has developed, we're seeing many more ads on our social media feeds for things that we might have been searching for on Google, or even things that we might have been talking to people about, which I've noticed as well. Reducing social media time is going to mean you're less exposed to all these adverts, and again, less exposed to buying things that look very nice, look very shiny and sparkly and new, and you're not going to be so tempted to buy them. Habit number 3 is to check what you have before you buy. For this, I'm thinking of food shopping as an example. So before you go out to do your food shop, check through your cupboards, check what you need so that you don't end up buying things that you already have. Another example might be clothing. If you're searching for an item of clothing online, do you already have something that would meet that need? Do you really need another jumper, or do you have one already that does what you need it to do? Habit number 4 is to make a list before you go shopping. Again, I'm thinking of food shopping. If you make a list, this will reduce the risk of you putting things into the basket that you don't really need and that call out to you from the aisle because they're on sale or because they've got a lovely display around them making you think that you need them. Also, I go one step further, mainly to reduce time that I'm in the shop, and that is I write out my shopping list in the order in which we come up to the items in the supermarket. So for example, when we first go into our shop, we've got salad items and some vegetable items. So if there's any of those things that I do need, they get put at the top of the list. The next aisle is sort of rices and sauces. So again, if we need any of that, that goes next on the list. This not only saves time, but also it means that I'm not going backwards and forwards in the shop and risk my eye being caught by things that I don't really need. I can just be focused, get what I need, get it out, go home, done. Habit number 5 is to put things in your basket or save for later section. So for example, if I am looking for something or I've seen something that's caught my eye, I will put it in my save for later or in my basket, and I will come away from it for a few days or a week and see if I feel the same when I come back to it. A lot of times I put something in my basket in that initial excitement or that dopamine hit of the expectation of having the item, and I'm not necessarily thinking it through thoroughly. Often I get that fear of missing out on something, especially if it's on sale or it appears to be on sale, because often I find that if something is being sold as being heavily discounted, I find it somewhere else on another site for the same discounted price, but it's not actually discounted. Habit number 6 is to really work on your mindset around purchasing. As a mental health professional, I talk to people a lot about how changing our mindsets can really help to change how we feel and what we do in certain situations. So like I said about fear of missing out, this can really pull us into trends or when items are on sale and we don't want to miss out on that bargain. Another aspect is that for some people, shopping and purchasing might be a coping mechanism for when they're finding life difficult. Buying new items might be a form of comfort. So once you're aware of any unhelpful mindsets around purchasing, any triggers that are personal to you in terms of impulse buying, for example, then you're in a better position to start doing something about it. Habit number 7 is to use up what you already have. And this can go for anything like food, makeup, cleaning supplies, and this is where checking your cupboards before you go shopping comes in as well. So making sure that you're not going to end up with duplicates of items that you already have. I must admit there have been times where I've not checked my bathroom cabinets for things and I've ended up buying shampoos and shower gels, and then when I've gone to put them in my cupboard I realised that I've got plenty of them already. So at the moment I've made a commitment not to buy any more of those things until I've used up what I already have. Habit number 8 is to question everything. So when it comes to a potential purchase, ask Ask yourself questions like, what purpose will this item serve? What value will it bring to my life? Do I already have something that meets the same need? So rather than diving in and pressing purchase or buy now without taking the time to think about it, ask yourself these sorts of questions and other questions that you might feel relevant to help you get clearer about whether this purchase is actually right for you. Habit number 9 is to return what you don't want. I bought some secondhand jeans off eBay recently. They fit really well apart from being too long in the leg. And my initial thought was that, I'm just gonna have to sell them on eBay at a later date. And what initially put me off, I'm ashamed to say, was just the effort it was gonna take to return them, which wasn't too much effort at all. It was just repackaging them, printing off the postage label and posting them back to the seller. And once that was done, within a few days, I got a refund. And I'm glad I did that because all I lost out on was the postage of sending it back, rather than having spent money on a pair of jeans that I was probably gonna hang on to for a while, not being able to wear them, and then trying to sell them again for almost as much as I got for them. Habit number 10 is to make, do and mend. I have a nice warm coat that I usually wear when I go out walking, and I had a bit of an accident in the washing machine where I overfilled the washing machine, and I think the hood of the coat got pinned against the inside of the washing machine, and the friction of the spinning ended up burning a hole in the hood. Again, to my shame, my immediate thought was get online, look for the coat and buy it again. And then I kind of gave myself a bit of a shake and said, well, let's think about this. Could I put a patch on that hole? So I went searching on Etsy. I found a seller who was selling a pair of patches that were green leaves, and it fit in with the fact that I love nature, and I didn't want to buy just one patch and stick it on one side of the hood because I thought that would look a bit weird. So I got the pair and I put them on the hood. It's covered the hole, it's protected it from spreading further, and it looks quite good, even if I do say so myself. Now, it's worth bearing in mind that sometimes making do may not always be the cheaper option. So just to take like a bigger item, for example, if you've got a really old car and you're having to do lots of repairs on it, which are costing you more money than perhaps the car is worth, would it be worth investing in a newer car that would have less repair bills to it? I guess that's only something that you can decide given your individual situation and the item in question. But I think in a lot of cases, making do and mending tends to be cheaper, and I felt quite pleased with my efforts. It helped me feel a bit creative and that I was being a bit more considered about what I was doing rather than taking the easy route and just going out and buying another coat, which I recognise is something I'm very lucky to be able to do. Now, of course, it's great to build habits that help us to save money, but we might also be doing things that are keeping us broke without realising it. So if you'd like to find out whether you have any habits that might be keeping you broke, watch the video that's on the screen now. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll speak to you again soon.